Hello and welcome to Books, History and Cups of Tea with me, Chrissy Parker. How are you today? And I've just realised this is the biggest mug in the world, although it is one of my favourites. It's an Egyptian mug, so I quite like that one. It is rather big though. Anyway, welcome back to Books, History and Cups of Tea. And today I am answering another question, but it's a really good one. It is, what are your 3 biggest tips for other people out there who want to write and publish their own books? What would you say to them? So there are so many things I could say. This could be 10, 15 videos because there is so much information I could give you. I may come back to some of this later on, but I will break it down into 3 things, plus a little bit about publishing. So firstly, I would say start right at the beginning. Find your story. Now, lots of people go, but I don't know what I want to write about. You can write about anything you want to. So, as an example, you could write about sea turtles, okay? And with sea turtles, you could go, right, I want to write about sea turtles, but what do I want to write? Okay, so sea turtles, there's lots of different types. So, you're going to write about loggerheads. You're going to write about where they lay their nests. So you're going to write about them swimming around in the sea and the reason why. What are you going to write specifically though about sea turtles? It's an environmental story. Is it a story about sea turtles being rescued or something else to do with them? Then that will bring you on to, okay, what location? Because as I said, sea turtles nest all over the world. So is it going to be Greece? Is it going to be the Caribbean? Is it going to be the Far East? Then you've got your characters. Who is there for those sea turtles? Is somebody rescuing them? Is somebody trying to do something not very nice to them? So those are going to be your characters, and then you've got people around who are helping on one side or the other. So as you can see, you can go from one little idea of one thing, and then you can work out what you want to do with this story. So find the story that you want to write. If you want to write about something very specific, sit down and go, right, I want to write about that, but how is that going to work? What am I going to do? What location is it going to be set in? Who are the characters going to be, and why are those characters going to be there? So just find your story. It's actually a lot easier than you think. Secondly, when you've found your story, you need to write it. And I know people find this very difficult. So my top tip is just write. And people out there are going to be going, yes, but I don't know how to. It doesn't matter. Your first draft that you write, any author's first draft that they write, is basically a word dump on page. Same for me. I will write my first draft and just go, blah, 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 and then the editing, I will go back and go, yeah, do you know what? No, that needs to change. That needs to come. No, because that doesn't link to something later on. That's what the editing process is for. Don't worry about that yet. You haven't got there. Just write the story. I know a lot of people will say, but yeah, but I got a full-time job, or, you know, I've got children, or I'm a carer, or I have lots of pets, or I don't have the time. It is incredibly difficult, and I totally understand that. But there are lots of ways that you could write. So one of those is just carry a notebook and pen in your bag. If you're sitting waiting for an appointment at the dentist's or a doctor's surgery or another appointment, take the notebook out, write a few words. You could probably get 250 to 500 words written in the time it's taking to wait for your appointment to be called. Or if you want, you can do it on the phone. You could download a writing app on your phone. You can even download Word, or if you're on an iPhone, you can download Pages. Pages will sync to a Mac as well if you've also got a Mac. So you can just type it out whilst you're waiting for your appointment. You could go for a walk and take the notebook or the phone with you, and then halfway through your walk, sit down on a bench somewhere beautiful, write 1,000 words, 500 words, 200 words, it doesn't matter. We are not counting words today. It does not matter. If you add 2 extra words to your story, you've written extra words for your story that day, and it doesn't matter. So write the words wherever you can. If you are working in an office and you have an hour-long lunch break, go out, sit on a bench. Spend half an hour whilst you're eating your sandwich, writing the book. or go to the staff room, stick your earbuds in and write your book. There are so many ways that you can do it. You don't need to be like some of us writers where you have a dedicated office that you sit in. And to be honest, I will quite often take my notebook out on walks. I will quite often go out onto the canal with my laptop. I'm the crazy lady with the laptop. Oh, I've just done how did I do that? That was quite funky. I think I did that. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to do that again. Oh, it didn't work. I don't know. Anyway, sorry about that. Slightly digressed. That was a bit of fun. And I've lost my train of thought and I'm just going to keep talking until I get there. Right, out on the canal. So sorry about that, everybody. Anyway, that was a bit of fun, wasn't it? I've gone out on the canal before and I have taken my laptop out. I've taken notebooks out and I've written words out there. I wrote an entire book one summer by literally just going out on a walk every day and taking my notebook and then coming back and dictating it all into my Word. So it's very, very easy to do if you can apply the continuity of writing to it. Thirdly, I would say find support. Writing can be very, very lonely, and sometimes you can sit there thinking, well, am I actually doing a good job with this? I don't know if I'm doing this right, or what happens next, or how am I going to get published? There are lots and lots of writers groups out there who are absolutely brilliant. There are local writers groups that you go to, so look up any in your local area or your local town. So for instance, I run something called the Southwest Authors Group in the southwest of England. So this is for authors all the way from Bristol all the way down to Cornwall and all the way across to Dorset, and they basically get together. So there will be writers in Cornwall who will put a shout out in the group and say, do you want to get together, do a writing session, do you want to get together and have a meet up? Look out for those on the internet within writers groups and go along, see how you get on. In-person writers groups aren't great for everybody. There are also lots of online ones, and I hope that it's okay to mention this, but I belong to a fantastic one called Writer's Dream House. And in Writer's Dream House, there are lots of authors from all over the place, all at different stages of their writing careers. And we'll get together and we have a good chat at the beginning of the month about what we're going to do for the rest of the month. And then there are lots of things throughout the month that you can get support with. And it's great to be surrounded by other writers. Even myself, who has been writing for a very long time. My first book was published in 2008. But I still like to have that contact with other writers so that I don't feel that I'm doing this alone. So I would say get support wherever you can. And try not to get overwhelmed with the amount of advice you get, but certainly, make notes on advice you get, make notes on things you see about writing. If you're not sure, ask somebody. People will always be happy to answer questions. There's quite a big ethic of pay it forward within the writing industry, certainly amongst a lot of authors. And lastly, I would say, getting your own book published. This is a whole topic that I could talk about another time. It's a complicated topic. I would say concentrate on writing your book first. Then if you get to the stage of publishing, investigate how you would like to be published. Do you want to get an agent? Do you want to get what they call a traditional publisher? Or would you rather go it alone and do it all yourself and independently publish? There are lots and lots of groups and websites out there that provide advice on those topics. As I said, it is a massive, massive topic within itself that I really don't have time to go into right now. But I think you need to work out what would be a good fit for you, what you would, the way of working within those parameters. Would they suit your personality? Would they suit the way that you work? Or would you like control, or would you like somebody else to do everything for you? It's a case of working out what suits you best, really. So I hope that helped. Sorry for the weird bit in the middle with the whole thumbs up thing. That was quite fun, wasn't it? But anyway, I'm going to end the video today. It's always good to have a little bit of a blooper in the middle, isn't it? So I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to go drink the rest of my epic cup of tea. You can find me on socials as normal. and check in soon for another video. Take care. Bye.